Welcome back to Law and Crime, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber, and thanks for joining us. We're back live right now in the trial of a former cheerleader accused of killing her newborn. That's 20-year-old Brooke Skylar Richardson. She is facing a multitude of charges, including murder and manslaughter in connection with the death of her baby Annabelle. Remember, the prosecution says that she gave birth to Annabelle 48 hours after her prom, and then proceeded to kill her, burn the body, and bury the body in her backyard. The defense says this is not a case of her killing her baby at all, but the baby was born as a stillborn. Right now, we're hearing Lieutenant John Fain, who's a retired police lieutenant, talking about coming upon the crime scene. And more importantly, what we are going to be hearing soon is the defendant's police interrogation tape. The prosecution talked about this in their opening statement, as well as the defense. And this is basically, we believe, where she incriminates herself and says that she killed the baby. However, the defense is going to say that she was coerced into giving this statement. Let's go back live right now. Okay, first, want to give you a little bit of an update on this witness right now. So he has been in the spotlight before, Mr. Fain. He was actually married to a Warren County judge. He apparently had an affair with a woman he met on Snapchat, and he was forced to resign. So just to give you a little background about this witness right here, that's some background. Don't think that's going to come up at all. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see what the defense does. That's probably not an area they're allowed to explore, but something for you viewers to understand about who this witness is. I want to bring in some special guests to join me once again. Is psychiatrist Dr. Carol Lieberman, attorney Terry Austin, and forensic death investigator from Jacksonville State University, Joseph Scott Morgan. Great to have you all here. Joseph, I'll start with you because you're new to the panel today. Now, forensics, that's a huge part of this case, and a big issue in this is the burning. So what do we know? Was this baby burned by the defendant or not, Joseph?
There may have been a futile attempt. I don't know that there is sufficient evidence to back up this claim that the baby was burned in total. Just the blurry images that I've seen of the remains at the scene would indicate that that might not be the case. I think going back from, looking at the scene, I think what I would like to know is how thoroughly was the scene searched for carbon deposits at the scene? Is there a specific pit or location within this depression that she had dug out where they could identify any of these carbon deposits in there, and how extensive are they? Trust me, Jesse, it takes a lot in order to incinerate human remains. It's, they had mentioned using a cigarette lighter at one point in time. That's not even going to get you started down the road with something like this. So if she did attempt to do it, it was an afterthought.
They looked at a fire pit and they found ash, burnt wood, chicken bones, fish bones, but no human remains. Something to think about there. All right, let's go live. We have the police interrogation tape. This is going to be something to listen to. Well, that's absolutely incredible. Okay, so now I have a perspective, my perspective. Let's hear the perspective of three of our guests right now. Dr. Lieberman, what is your observations about her reactions in this video?
Well, oh man. First of all, it's so the police who was interrogating her, he was so disingenuous. He was so playing her, leading her on to make this, to say whatever incriminating things she could say. And yes, I know that's his job to some extent, but he really kind of went overboard. Now, I could see where the jury would feel some sympathy for her in this. Of course, this is, then you see the pictures in the gym and so on, which is a very different kind of thing. She gave her baby a name, Annabelle. She buried the baby and put flowers on the grave. I mean, there are a number of things that show that she had some feelings in a way, but then in other ways, she seemed totally in denial and disconnected from this baby.
And that's what we see. I mean, it's a complicated series of emotions. I just want to get the perspective before our next break. Terry, I want to go to you real quick. Giving birth by yourself like this, from what we've seen, does it match up to a manslaughter charge at the very least?
No, I don't think so. I think if, in fact, she gave birth to a stillborn, there is nothing illegal about putting the baby in a shallow grave, as long as, and they do have a charge here for abuse of a corpse, but that means that she had to do something that was horrible, that would hurt the sensibilities of a juror thinking that she did something horrible. But if in fact she did not, murder the baby, she didn't choke the baby, she didn't deprive the baby, and she didn't starve herself, and the baby was actually stillborn, she doesn't have to tell anyone, and she can dispose of the body as long as it's not outrageous to the reasonable sensibilities of the jury.
Okay, Joseph, finally, we've covered a number of different interrogations. Your thoughts, your take on this?
Yeah, I think the first nugget that kind of poured forth, that kind of spontaneous comment that she made at the beginning where she says, I didn't kill her. I don't know how any of us would respond if we were in that particular set of circumstances, but kind of as this went along, she's giving very specific recollections about what she did along the continuum. However, I think for the prosecution, the most damning thing for this young lady is the research of, potentially trying to search out how she gets rid of a baby, all of these sorts of things. But at the end of the day, we have little or no physical indication.
Right, I know. That's the main issue for the prosecution. Joseph, thanks so much, everybody. Angelica Spanos is next.